Fauna Robotics just came out with their newest robot called Sprout. I'm going to be doing a deep dive on how this robot was designed and some of their design choices. And if you're new here, my name is Kevin. I've been doing robotics and AI for 10 plus years and have lots of resources on my channel. I also have a robotics builders membership where you get deep dive access to how I build my projects. And also resources on my website to help you get started, link down below. Starting with the head, you can see there's two cameras here for the eyes, and you can see the distance between the two cameras are quite far apart, meaning that they're probably using that for depth estimation to do things like 3D reconstruction and some of their AI models that may need that to interpret spatial awareness of where they are. And you can see right here, this is their arm design. What you notice with their arm design, we have 1 degree of freedom here, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it appears to be a 6 degree of freedom robot arm. So it's the most minimal degrees of freedom you need to position the tool end in any position and orientation in space. So it's a minimum requirement. Most robots out there now typically have 7 degrees of freedom for redundancy. So I would say they have a pretty basic setup here. And for the legs, you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 degrees of freedom. And again, this is also on the lower end because some of the higher end robots tend to have at least 6 degrees of freedom. And the main degree of freedom that they're missing here is this roll actuation here that would help the toes bend right and left, which is pretty useful if you want to balance on 1 foot. So the configuration they have is called pitch, roll, yaw. So this is pitch, roll, and then yaw. And what you see here is that if you compare with something like the Unitree, they actually have a direct drive mechanism. So unlike the Unitree that have mechanisms, their motor for their pitch is directly at the part where the feet rotates, which is called the direct drive. And you can see, unlike Tesla's, they have linear actuators. And then if you compare it with the Boston Dynamics' newest Atlas robot, they also have a direct drive mechanism here, but they do have an extra roll actuator down at the bottom. And you can see right here, because some of this lack of degrees of freedom in the roll, when the leg is at an angle, you can see that it tends to be on the side of the feet instead of having the feet flat on the floor. But you can see that the toe design is relatively short and there is no flexing, but because it's so short and it's rounded when it's at different sides in contact with the floor, it tends to be not so bad because of the geometry that they design. So unlike feet like Tesla, you can see there's passive bending that's designed into the feet, but you can see the feet here is much larger, so some of this bending would help with it. So I think mostly because it's for home use, they didn't care too much about it, but you can see it's a pretty minimalistic design. And as for the hand too, you can see they went with pretty basic manipulators here. And unlike Tesla's hand, which is much more complex, I imagine that they are scoping their robot to be doing very basic tasks and maybe just focusing on some of the AI and autonomy to do autonomous tasks dealing with easy to handle objects.